Whoever the fuck, whoever the fuck is responsible for this shit, this fucking shit, or fucking A New Era, or Alien Guardian, or any of this other stupid fucking shit in this fucking game, or 17 fucking goblins, you are seriously what is wrong with game design. You are the epitome of bad game design. You make shit unfun. You make it just because it's a wow factor instead of good balance. You try to make it as shiny as possible. You try to make it like, ooh, explosions instead of having good gameplay. You're graphics over gameplay. That's what you are. You're that. You're the epitome of that. You know, in the mid 2000s, shooters were at their peak. And of course, there's a lot of bad shooters, but there's a lot of innovation in shooters too. So in the mid 2000s in shooters, you had Crysis, you had Fear, you had Half-Life 2, you had Halo 2. Now I'm gonna exclude Halo 2 from that. That was a fun game, but it isn't the apex of what I'm describing here. In that period of time, you had video games where the technology was increased to a certain point while we were still focusing on gameplay. So, for instance, in Crysis, everything has physics. You can shoot trees over, you can blow up houses. This has never been done before. This was something that had never been done before. You could interact with things in the environment. You can shoot oil barrels in Crysis, and the oil will drip out until your bullet hole and then stop. That's the sort of attention to detail we're talking about. In Half-Life 2, it was the first time you had, physics being involved in puzzles, being involved in gameplay. You had the gravity gun. You could pick up anything. You could throw it at people. You had all these puzzles that were associated with physics. That was the first time we had something like that. In Fear, you have slow motion mechanics that were done the best they've ever been done. You have light affecting stuff. You have the AI being extremely advanced, and they learn what you do and react to what you do. Sometimes they'll push, sometimes they'll call out they should stay back. If you run away and hide, they'll lose track of you, and then they'll actually clear like a SWAT team up through the level until they encounter you again. Unbelievable AI. Sorry about that. Unbelievable AI, unbelievable graphics, unbelievable physics, unbelievable interactability with the environment, and unbelievable attention to detail. This was in the mid 2000s, okay? This was 20 fucking years ago, or almost 20 years ago. And at that point in time, we took our increase in technology and combined it with good gameplay to make something that literally had never been done before. That was the climax, literally, of shooters and, in my personal opinion, video games. What has happened since then? Crysis 2 removed a bunch of the physics. Fear 2 is a fucking shit show, piece of shit. Of course, Half-Life 3 never happened. The follow-ups to Half-Life were good, too. That was the odd man out. But, I mean, they took fucking 5 years each to make. But think of modern shooters right now. They can't do any of that. They can't do those physics. They can't blow up houses. They can't do any of that shit. The only thing that comes close is Battlefield, and it's a glitch piece of shit with a terrible hit reg. Whereas those other games felt good to play. So you have this regression of gameplay and creativity and of improvement and of technological increase in sacrifice of just wow moments. Like, oh, there's bigger explosions, there's more scripted events, there's more HDR lighting, there's softer shadows, and what developers don't seem to understand is that you don't need a scripted event for a wow moment. The true wow moments are organic. And those mid-2000 shooters were made to be organic. If I'm in Crysis and I see a Jeep driving at me, I can shoot at the base of a tree and have a tree fall over and land on the Jeep and make it explode. That is a wow moment. That is a bigger wow moment than what is entirely possible in any cutscene, any sort of scripted event, anything like that. And if you are building your game in the modern game design world and you're trying to make it wow, you should be focusing on gameplay, interactability, and physics and interactions and things like that. Being organic. It's not scripted events. It's not bigger sparkles. It's not bigger explosions. It's gameplay. And Legends is the epitome of that, because they had a solid game, solid gameplay. It wasn't that flashy, but it was consistent and it was fun and it was good. And what did they do? They added bigger blowouts. They added more random cards. They added cards that were super impactful and can completely change the game. They added cards that are just I win buttons. They added all these things that just completely change the balance of the game and to make huge swings possible. It is the epitome of bad game design. It's the epitome of graphics over function. It's the epitome of sparkles over gameplay. And it is bad. This game is bad. And developers who do that are terrible. This has been Hasnotalent with a big nerd rant. I'm signing off. Peace out.